Hi, I'm coming to you from Utrecht in the Netherlands to talk to you about the cycle of information and how the information in an information system and the technology in the information system are completely tied together. And in fact, what I would say, and I think now at this point in your studies you're able to hear, is that really the only point, the one and only point of an information system is to move information. To move information from the people who have it to the people who need it. All of the technology, all of the design, everything that you do in the information system all revolves around that issue. Someone has information, someone wants information, we need to move the information from place to place. Of course, that's easy to say, but it's not often easy to do. So let's take a closer look by way of review and also by way of looking at our idea of tiers in a new light, in a way that's maybe a little bit more sophisticated than the way we've looked at them before. So we have this idea that information systems move information. That's the point. And we have these three tiers. The presentation tier, which I've said in the past, is responsible for displaying information. The processing tier, which I've said in the past, is responsible for all the algorithms of the system, for making sure that the system does the functions that it needs to do. And the data tier, that's responsible for the long-term storage of information. Now let's look at these three tiers from the standpoint of the idea that we're just moving information. So the presentation tier is there to deliver information as output to a consumer, to someone who's going to receive the information, and it's also there as a way, a portal, to deliver information into the system. So it's output to people who are consuming the information and input from people who are producing the information. So where we had sort of a one-directional flow before, what we really see is that presentation tier is two-way flow, information into the system and information out of the system to the people who need to consume it. The processing tier is there to manipulate information. It's there to transform the information from its version in the database to the version that end users can see. That's one direction. It's also there to make sure that the information that comes into the system is valid and should go into the long-term data storage. So it's sort of like a gatekeeper or a guardian so that bad information doesn't get into the database, because once it's in the database it's going to be there forever. So the processing tier is really there to manipulate information so that it looks right when you see it. It's also there to check information so that it's valid, so that when it goes into the database it's what it should be. Now of course there's much more complexity to it. I'm trying to simplify it, but I want you to see this presentation, processing, and data tier from the standpoint of the information. Presentation tier is there to input and output information. The processing tier is there to transform information from its very compact form inside the database to the form that an end user would like to see, and also to check the information that comes into the system before it goes into long-term storage. And of course the data tier is there exactly to store the information of the system.